Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video, and the day has finally come that the PlayStation will reveal their next console. Now, courtesy of PlayStation on X, as well as their blog, they announced that a PlayStation 5 technical presentation will be hosted by Mark Cerny tomorrow, September the 10th. It will be a 9-minute stream, and I don't know, man. I'm just really excited for this. Now, I've been reporting on the PlayStation 5 for quite some time now, and in the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical, and then I started to see some real documents and some real information behind the scenes, and then I got on board, and I realized that yes, the PlayStation 5 Pro is indeed real. Now, we reported that developers got kits way back, I believe it was in January of this year. We revealed that it would have PSSR on it, that it would have, some type of hardware upscaling, a host of details. Now, a lot of detractors came out from the beginning saying that there was no reason for the PlayStation 5 Pro, or that the PlayStation 5 Pro, it was never coming out, that this was just a false rumor. Now we are finding out that this system is indeed coming out tomorrow. And we're gonna have so many of our questions answered. I have a lot of questions. How does PSSR perform? Does it perform the same like DLSS? How big is the chip? How much power is this system going to take? Did they do a revision and actually updated the CPU? How powerful is the GPU going to be? Is it going to be a stark difference from the PlayStation 5? I have so many questions that will be answered. Now, I have my own opinions on things. I think that PSSR is going to be make or break on this console. And the way that Sony described it in their documents, it appears that it's going to work like DLSS. Now, if we have hardware for AI upscaling on a console and it performs like DLSS, and we have a more powerful GPU in the PlayStation 5 Pro, a lot of these games that are struggling at 50 FPS will be running at 60 FPS and above. Games that say hover around 45 FPS but have a low VRR refresh rate range, those games will see a better performance because you won't get some of the hitching, because it will be able to go to a much lower frame rate to compensate. So there's a lot of exciting technologies that could be possible in the PlayStation 5 Pro, and we will find out tomorrow. Now let's go over to the blog post real quick. Like usual, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. Now it goes on to say, tune in tomorrow for a PlayStation 5 technical presentation hosted by Mark Cerny. Join us for a stream presentation hosted by Mark Cerny, lead architect of the PlayStation 5 console. The 9-minute technical presentation will focus on PS5 and innovations in gaming technology. So they're not even coming out and saying it's the PlayStation 5 Pro, but we know that it's the PlayStation 5 Pro. In their, I believe it was their 30th or whatever anniversary, they hid the design of the PlayStation 5 Pro. A lot of outlets were speaking on it. I'm excited, man. I'm excited, especially when we see games that look okay on these consoles, but they're struggling with frame rates. Some of them are not hitting their 60 FPS targets, and that's because of the CPU and the GPU. Now, these games that are struggling at 50 FPS, I guarantee you they will be running at 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, the games that are like 30 FPS, perhaps they'll get up a little bit higher, and with the VRR range, they'll run much better if Sony is keeping the same CPU that they have in the PlayStation 5. Or perhaps they made some modifications in that system that amplify the CPU. I don't know, I'm just speculating here, but we're gonna find out tomorrow, and that is very exciting news. Now, if the PlayStation 5 Pro offers a substantial improvement in performance over the PlayStation 5, I do think it's gonna sell well. I think it's gonna sell well for the time of year that it's coming out. One of my sources told me that it will be coming out the week of Black Friday, and that the price target is $600 to $650 USD. We're gonna find that out tomorrow as well. Now, if that is accurate, $600 USD for a PlayStation 5 Pro, I do believe it'll sell well because of Black Friday, because of the holiday season, because it's the new shiny. We have some games that are out right now that will run better on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So if people own games on their PlayStation 5 and they upgrade to a PlayStation 5 Pro, they're going to be able to get better looking games and better performance. I'm sure that a lot of outlets are going to, I should say not outlets, a lot of retailers are going to actually have a trade-in incentive for your PlayStation 5. I think a lot of people kind of sold their PlayStation 5 in advance, knowing that the PlayStation 5 Pro would be announced so they could get the highest money that they could get for it. So I think it's going to sell initially very well. Now, will it outsell the PlayStation 5, the regular version? Of course not, because that's going to be cheaper. And most likely we're going to see a reduction in price on the PlayStation 5 when the PlayStation 5 Pro launches. So it will continue to sell and people will buy the PlayStation 5 Pro. Sony will have the advantage of saying that they have the best place to play with the PlayStation 5 Pro because the performance, it's going to be better than the Xbox Series X. It's only going to be outbeaten by PC. And PC is just a completely different market, of course, and you're spending a lot more money to get into PC. You know, I have an RTX 4090 in my rig because I want the best, and that's going to cost you a lot of money. A lot of people don't have that type of income or don't want to invest in PC like that. They just want to be able to have the ease of use that a console provides. Just fire it up. It's good to go. You pay a pretty good price that's reasonable compared to building it on a PC. Like the release of the PlayStation 5 Pro, I saw all the crazies out there. People trying to say you could build a PC cheaper than a PlayStation 5 that outperforms it, which is just not the case. And then they use the straw man argument that, oh, you can get them all used. Who is going through the classifieds to buy all of their parts used? Maybe you'll pick up a GPU. Perhaps you'll pick up a CPU. Maybe somebody has an extra motherboard that's not opened. But you're not going to buy all of your components from a classified market. That's just ridiculous. Some people do it. They are the minority. Most people don't do that. What they actually do is they go to a builder like myself, or they go to different companies online that sell pre-builts, and they buy those. Most people are not building their PCs. I don't understand this. A lot of PC guys, I'm a PC guy, but a lot of PC guys, oh, we build our PC. No, PC players, all of them do not build their PCs. If that was the case, all of these PC builders would be out of business. I wouldn't have any builds to do. It's just ridiculous. So just cut it out. You cannot beat the value of a console. The price to performance, you just can't beat it. It is what it is. And I think that the PlayStation 5 Pro, if priced right, if it's really priced at $600 to $650, I think it's going to sell well because people are paying at least $1,000 to get a decent PC. And that's kind of just like the entry point of something that's decent. If you want something good or you want something that's you don't have to compromise on, you're going to have to spend more on PC than that. So if they can release the PlayStation 5 Pro between $600 and $650 USD, I think it's going to sell. And it depends how they advertise and how they present it tomorrow. And I have no doubt that Sony's going to present it well. I'll say this. The last presentation for the PlayStation 5, I kind of mocked him. I'll be honest. I'll hold myself accountable. And I'll say this, I won't doubt him again because the PlayStation 5 is a fantastic machine. The Xbox Series X is more powerful. It has more features on it. It has more compute power, but that's not translating into real world performance. We have a lot of cases where the PlayStation 5 outperforms the Xbox Series X. We have cases where the Xbox Series X outperforms the PlayStation 5 as well. And we have instances where they perform the same. Now, for a system that is more powerful, it should always be better running. And don't give me this stuff, oh, it's the developers and the optimization, and they choose the PlayStation 5 over the Xbox Series X because we have Xbox's own games that their developers did. I'll give you an example. Hi-Fi Rush. It actually ran better on the PlayStation 5 when it launched. So don't give me any of that. The PlayStation 5, the way that it was designed is very easy for developers to use. The Xbox Series X, on the other hand, and the Xbox Series S, let's not even get into that, makes things a lot more difficult. So I don't want to go on a rant on that. I just have to address that because I know the console warriors are going to be in the comment section going all crazy and raging. It's gaming. This is what it is. And don't be so worried because Xbox is coming out with a new console in 2026. So it's not that far away. So just relax. If you don't like the PlayStation 5 Pro, sit this one out. Me personally, I'm excited for it because I think a lot of console gamers will finally be able to have 60 FPS on the regular with better graphics. If the compute units are accurate from the leaks, you can expect high to ultra graphics on the PlayStation 5 Pro. If PSSR delivers and it is like DLSS, it's going to be a huge achievement for consoles. The one thing that AMD struggles with right now is FSR. FSR is good. You do get extra frame rates, extra performance, but at the cost of image clarity. It just breaks up a lot of things. It breaks up fine details. It breaks up like grass and hair, and it just looks kind of fuzzy. It's just not as clean. It's not as optimal. And on consoles, you're using it from a lower resolution. So you're not even using it from the recommended resolution that AMD wants you to use so you can get optimal performance. You're using it from a lower resolution. So already you're at a handicap. Now, if Sony addresses this issue, obviously by having a better GPU, so they upscale from a higher resolution, but also PSSR that does machine learning AI upscaling, and it performs like DLSS, it will be a game changer. Yes, some CPU intensive games are still going to be CPU intensive. They're going to still be the bottleneck of the PlayStation 5 Pro because they haven't changed the CPU that's in it. But some of those games will run a little bit higher. And perhaps some of those CPU struggling games, if unlocked, they're at like 40, but on the PlayStation 5 Pro, they get to like 45, and they have better VRR. It'll be a better experience. But not all games are CPU bound. I don't know, there's maybe like 5, 6 games this generation that are really CPU bound. A lot of games are GPU bound. And because they're going to have higher bandwidth, better performance, more shaders in this GPU that's in the PlayStation 5 Pro, they're going to have higher frame rates on a lot of games. So some games, perhaps they're GPU bound, I don't know, let's just say 50 FPS. Now they're no longer GPU bound, they can get up to like 80 FPS. There's going to be a lot of instances of this happening, and I don't think people are really thinking that far ahead. A lot of people are just attacking the PlayStation 5 Pro and saying it's not necessary. It will run all multi-plats better if the specs are accurate. And, enough of me speculating and, talking about what could be. The PlayStation 5 Pro will be revealed tomorrow, and we're going to know what will be. And I want to know if you guys are interested in this. Do you think the PlayStation 5 Pro will run games a lot better and most of the games will run at 60 FPS? Or do you think it's just a side upgrade and you're not going to see much of a difference at all? I will live stream the presentation tomorrow morning, so come back to the channel. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, like the video, come back to the channel. We'll watch it together and we'll find out what Sony and Cerny is cooking with the PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm excited that the moment is finally here. So like I usually say, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.